No, it's a way to quickly distress up an object like this if you don't want to go in and do each individual one. But you do have to be careful because if you do anything too unique looking, it's going to be noticeable as being repeated all the way along. I'm just going to undo that. Reduce the size of my brush a bit. This middle one is not so much of a problem. It is overlapping, so you will get some repetition, but it's the smaller side pieces will be the most noticeable. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to duplicate this layer. Just darken up the color a bit. We're getting a repeating pattern on the end piece here, quite noticeable because it's so dark. I think what I'll do is I will see if I can move the UV again, do an offset a little bit more. That's a bit better. We'll leave it like that. So again, that's a quick way, if you're overlapping your UVs, to actually texture up a large object quickly, but you've got to be careful that you don't paint in too unique a looking detail because you're going to notice it more as being repeating. And a good example actually is here where that pattern there is repeating all the way along the edge. You see that lighter color? It's all the way along the edge, and that starts to look a bit weird. In fact, so weird I really don't like that. I think what I'll do is I think I might paint that out. It's a bit better. Alright, let's save our project and export our textures. I forgot to rename our material, so let's do that. And it means we're going to find our path again. This is one thing about Substance Painter is a great program, by the way. I prefer to do texture painting in Mari by the Foundry, M-A-R-I. But Substance Painter, if you're working with a game engine, is certainly good. I just wish it would remember its path. Let's export our textures. The only reason I prefer to use Mari is simply because I like the tools in Mari, and you can create really large textures. Substance Painter is like limited to 8K textures, but Mari is no limit, basically. It's used in film quite a bit. Now let's save our project. Jump back into Unreal. Now we do want to make sure we do want to do a reset on our X-form again. So Effect Pivot, Center to Object, Reset. Now we can collapse that stack. We'll export it one more time before we bring it into Unreal. Let's import it. We want to create a new material again. Let's import our textures. What do we call it? What do we call them? Skylight text, okay. So we want to color our metallic, our normal, and our roughness. Now again, I am going to be creating an extra draw call for each of these textures. If you didn't want to do that, let me just jump out of isolation mode here. You could, of course, attach all these pieces together as one. And that way, instead of having 3 different draw calls, you'd have one draw call. You just have to make sure you pack your UVs properly. So just because I'm doing it as separate objects, don't feel you have to. You can attach them all together. Again, I'm not making a game, so I'm really not so worried about draw calls. And to be honest, having an object made up of maybe 6 draw calls as opposed to 1 when it's only going to be used in the level once is not going to really cause you a huge problem anyway. So, but I know you guys, some of you guys obsess over draw calls, so and it's just a matter of if you have too many draw calls on too many objects, then that will start to slow the engine down. Okay. Where was that material we just made? This one here, okay. Let's assign it to our model. Save it. Jump back into Max. Alright, now we start to tackle these more intricate pieces here along the side of the wall. Let me just jump out from underneath here so we can see what's going on. I'm going to start, now what I've done here is I've created a corner piece, which is this corner decorative piece, which we're going to reuse. I've created 1, 2, that one is the same as that one, and 3, one on the end. So we're only going to need that one. We're going to need that corner piece, this end piece, the first piece, the second piece, and then the fourth piece. And then we're going to just keep reusing the same assets again, duplicate them around the outside of the cutout. So let's start with this first piece. I'm going to go into isolation mode. This is a group again, so I'm going to ungroup it. I'm going to assign some textures here so that my names are already correct when I bring them into Unreal, so I don't have to make a new material. When I say assign textures, I'm just going to assign a plain color, so I'm going to drag in a standard shader. We'll rename it. We'll call this one Darkwood. Darkwood Skylight. And we'll just change the color of it to make it maybe a deep blue, just so it's easy for me to distinguish. And I'm going to assign that to these assets. We'll drag one more in. And we'll call this one Lightwood Skylight. And we'll make that one maybe a paler blue. I'm going to assign that to the wood panel. Okay, now I'm going to attach these pieces together, so I'm going to do an edit poly and just attach these different pieces together. I'm going to collapse the stack. Again, make sure my pivot is in the middle, and again I'm going to do a reset on the X-form. Again, we'll collapse the stack. We'll call this Skylight Panel 1. Let's export it. And let's bring it into Substance Painter. Make sure we save this project. Alright. Let's texture this up now, and because we assigned textures to it before we imported it, it's kept the same texture names. It just makes our life a little bit easier. And we're going to be reusing these textures for all of our panel pieces. So even though we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 different panel pieces, we're only going to be reusing the same 2 textures for all those different 4 pieces. Now, again, that's to save on texture memory, and that'll save on our draw calls as well. So the dark wood, actually the light wood, let's start with that. Again, we're going to pull in our cherry wood smart material. Just wait for Substance to assign that to the model. Come on. There we go. Going to remove the layer underneath because again it's blank, we're not using it. And we're just going to check our cherry wood here. Let's play with our UV scaling, tiling I should say. I'm going to duplicate that layer. Again, it's a large asset, so it just takes Substance a little while to recompile, work out what's going on. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to darken the wood up quite a bit. I'm going to jump back in again and use my favourite Dirt 2 brush, but make it really large. And I'm going to start removing it from the middle. I'm just going to sort of concentrate on the middle and leave the edges dark.
Let the night set in, a blanket of darkness covering up your fears. It's getting harder to see, but you are reaching out for me.
Right, let's jump to this second texture here. Back into my materials, and for this one I'm actually going to use the chocolate wood here. Let's do some adjustments here because the height value is way too high. Again, let's delete the top layer that's blank that we're not using. I could actually turn the height value off completely here, which is generally what I prefer to do. We'll turn it back on and we'll see if we can make it less, I don't know, horrible looking. Height range and height position. We do want a bit of height information there to give the wood a little bit, a bit of life and not look so flat with turning height off completely. It should be better. I just want to make now adjust to the tiling a little bit, I think. So we'll unlock the U and the V and play with that tiling. Now remember, we only have to do this once because we're going to reuse the same texture for all the other panels. I'm going to throw in a wood beach honey underneath of that. I'm going to turn off the height information, the roughness and the metallic for that, and the normal as well actually. Oh no, we'll leave the normal on and we'll leave the roughness and the metallic on. Just turn off the height information. I'm going to add a white mask. We're going to go back to our brushes and to that dirt brush again. Let's see here. Right. I'm going to I'm just trying to work out which one of these is giving me that that raised look. Could be the normal and the raw. Okay, it's actually the height value. So I'm actually going to turn the height off, I think, on the on the dark chocolate wood. I'm going to turn the height information up on the chocolate wood, but I'm going to use the height information from the underlying honey coloured wood. So let's just add a bit of distressing here and there along this. I have to be careful because we're going to be reusing this asset over and over again. I can't create a distressed section that is too noticeable, because it's going to be noticeable as being repeated otherwise. So I just have to like be a bit subtle here. Just do it here and there. You guys have been very quiet. I hope you're still there. Remember, guys, if you got any questions, feel free to pop in the chat and ask me. Maybe there's no one there watching me. I don't know. These edges really should be chamfered, actually. May do that, I think. Yeah, in fact, it's bothering me, so I'm just going to save this project. Panel 1. And jump back into Max. No, not Unreal, I want Max. There we go. Let's go into sub-object mode. We'll do an invert selection. The wood at the bottom and the top has been chamfered. I just didn't do these for some reason. I don't know why. So I'm just going to quickly do a detach on this. And we're going to select some edges so we can just do a quick chamfer, I think. Instead of doing it this way, what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw another edit poly down. And that again just allows me to make any changes if I don't like what I've done. Some edges have been chamfered. I think it's mainly just these side center pieces that need to be fixed. So, and we won't do the back edge because that actually butts up against the back wooden panel piece. Wrong edge. Just making sure I have all of the edges selected that I need. I don't, 'cause I need these inside ones as well. Okay. And instead of using the chamfer built into the edit poly here, I'm going to actually use the modifier, separate modifier. It's an updated version that you find in the edit poly. So it does a better job, usually. Usually. Although not in this case by the look of it. I think what's happened here is I may have selected some edges that I shouldn't have. Well, I think we should be okay. And I'm just going to make sure I don't have any edges selected that I shouldn't. I'm going to go into wireframe mode. I actually think, yeah, see what's happened. These edges are already chamfered, so I'm going to deselect them. So I don't want that one or that one. All these ones on the side. Okay, let's jump up in the stack. Jump back down again. What is causing that? Let's try that again. No, still doesn't like it. That's a strange one. I'm not sure what's going on there. I may have to look at that a bit more. I think we may leave it there though for today, guys. We've got a few of our assets in here ready to start putting together. Hey, Game Art 101. Sorry about Nightbot. He doesn't like caps. It's good to see you, buddy. Yeah, hey, Game Art. Good to see you. We're working on our skylight for our building here. Let's just jump out of isolation mode so we can see what's going on. So we're going to place our skylight in. We're working on our assets for that. Am I able to turn Nightbot off? I can. I can turn Nightbot off, but I don't like to, simply because we, as streamers, get a lot of spam bots popping into their channel if they don't have a moderator. So I won't be turning him off. Yeah. But if he gets too out of control, I can certainly I may make an exception to that rule about caps, actually, or extend it. I'll look at Nightbot's rules though, just for you, Game Art. But yeah, I don't like to turn him off simply because to stop spam bots from popping into chat and making everyone's life miserable. But I'll certainly look at there's a rule for caps in Nightbot. I'll look at that. Maybe tone his rule down a little bit. So yeah, we're working on our skylight. We're going to be bringing that into Unreal here so we can finish off our main hallway section. That's what we're going to be doing tomorrow. We've got two of the assets already brought in. We've only got a few more to bring in, which are actually the main paneling. We'll do that tomorrow. In the meantime, I'll look at what's going on with this chamfering on those pieces of geometry. So we will leave it there for today, guys. I do want to thank you guys very much for hanging out with me and for watching. I know Twitch is having problems at the moment with streams going live and not being shown as going live, and I noticed in Edge that some of the streams I was watching from other people weren't loading properly, and yeah, I think it's just a bit of a hiccup because of the extensions that Twitch have just introduced for streamers. You know, extensions like overlays you can put on your stream and game things that you place in your panels. I haven't used any of that myself, and I probably won't be unless they make something a bit more interesting. I have no interest in what they're offering at the moment. I know Streamlabs have an overlay you can put on your stream, and I know Muxy has as well. And I use Streamlabs and Muxy for my notifications, but yeah. At this stage, I won't be using any extensions. I don't like crowding my screen on my stream up too much. I like to keep everything nice and clean. And if you start putting crap everywhere, you know, it starts hiding what you're doing, whether you're playing a game or in my case doing 3D. But if you guys want them, let me know. But I do want to thank you guys very much for hanging out with me and for watching. I really do appreciate it, guys. I'm sorry if you've been having problems watching the stream because of some issues with Twitch at the moment, but if you hung in there, good for you. Thank you. I will be back on again tomorrow, though, at 5 p.m. Pacific in the United States. Remember, I do post to my Twitter page at PhilDoes3D every time I go live, so if you're not sure, keep an eye on my Twitter page. My schedule doesn't change though unless I'm sick like I was last week. Again, sorry guys. It's every Monday and Tuesday, usually Wednesday, but not just at the moment on Wednesdays, but certainly every Monday, Tuesday, 5 p.m. Pacific in the US, that's 10 a.m. in Australia, 1 a.m. in the UK. I will be back on again tomorrow. Again, thank you guys very much for hanging out with me and for watching, and thank you guys for popping into chat and saying hello as well. And thank you, Gamer Art. I will pop I'll check on Nightbot's rules, and I'll be back on again tomorrow. So thanks very much, guys, for hanging out and for watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night, guys.